What's good with y'all boys, man? Tribulation back in this motherfucker. Fruit back in this motherfucker, man. It's been a little while. Not really. Not really. I've been keeping up. What the fuck am I talking about? Anyway, FS2 guide, all-encompassing guide for new and returning players, or really anybody that just wants to learn more about the game, you know what I'm saying? But this is primarily for starters, since I've seen a wave of new people playing, you know what I'm saying? I figured this is the best time to make this type of guide, right? This is gonna end up being kind of long, so let's just get into it, man. Let me tell you what I'm gonna be talking about in this guide. So essentially, I'm gonna start off with the events to take advantage of. There's a lot of events on right now that help you out like crazy, and you just need to know which ones are important and how to use them. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the new mission shop they got. We're gonna talk about all the positions and what they do, or if you have just never played this type of game before, what each position gives you, or what all the advantages are and disadvantages. And with that, I'm gonna talk about the SPCs that go with those positions as well, the best ones. I'm gonna talk about the motion changes. They've added this little section to where magic and rare players can change their motions into like really good motions, like legendary characters motions. Like it's pretty OP as of right now. So I'll explain how that works. I'm gonna talk about all the different play styles that are played in FS2, so the next time somebody asks you, yo, let's play swing, you'll know what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'll explain how all those work. We'll talk about cards, attributes, clothing, freestyles, how to enhance and create new characters, and then I'm gonna just kind of quick fire some last like tips and tricks for new players that they might not know, that might help them out. You know what I'm saying? So that's the outline of this, and before this does get long, let's just get started. Alright, starting with the events. First thing you should go on ASAP is this Premium Express Greatest Reward, man. They giving out a free premium character between, I believe it's between Yua, Elias, Charlotte, and Noah, which is crazy, and it's like the full character for free, just handing it to you. Get this ASAP, get your character, and then the more you play, you unlock some more stuff out of this little event thing here, so you get a lot more stuff for free. Like I'm saying, like I haven't done it yet because I feel like I really don't need any of this shit, but a lot of this stuff is gonna be useful for new players, so this is the first thing you should spend your time doing, along with this startup dash, which is for that new character. You play on that character and you work towards these. They have some really good stuff in here that you will need. So this is important. First thing you should do, Premium Express. That's what you should spend on. This Miracle Mind event, I'm not gonna play it because it sounds annoying. Matter of fact, hold on, let me turn it down real quick. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Put it down. Alright, this Miracle Mind shit, bro, this will take a while to do, but as soon as you start, you'll know how this works. You just mine through the stuff, you gain a bunch of keys, gain a bunch of gold, and then with the keys you gain these boxes as you go. It'll reset. And then the Miracle Shop, they have a lot of good stuff in here. It's really good stuff. They have some decent drip, you know what I'm saying? And then they got the cards, the world movers for 1,000, and you get these gold, you get a lot of these premium subs. If you need equipment, don't waste your time on that. But enhancement packs, they got you with that. A bunch of rare movers, so useful, man. Spend your time on this. This is definitely worth it if you're coming back and you're just playing. Spend your time on this, but it's gonna take a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. Tennis event, they give out some pretty good stuff as you go. I guess it's just every time you log in. This isn't really an event. This is just an update to the mission thing that you do every time you play. You know what I'm saying? You gain these little mission tickets as you do these little missions throughout the week, and you can spend them in this shop. That's a really good shop. They have a lot of good stuff in here that is very useful to you. So grind out these missions. They are actually useful now, and they're actually worth getting and spending time on. So make sure you do all of that. And then before I forget, all the way down here, you're making an SPC, the Game Changers SPCs, man. These are all 3-on-3 and Freestyle 2 characters that you used to have to pay for like 300, 400 to pull. These are all free now, and you can make as much as you want. That's crazy. Like that is crazy. And you gotta get on that ASAP. Take advantage of this, because it's actually really, my game just crashed, but it's actually a really good thing to take advantage of. They might take it away type shit. So just lock in onto that. Now that we passed the events, we're gonna move on to the positions. What positions do, what each position is specialized in. We're gonna just get into that real quick, you know what I'm saying? So for centers are, how you could guess this, primarily made for rebounds, blocks, and like screens. They're really slow, but they have a lot of power, strength. They can't really be blocked by anything lower than a shooting forward in the paint. With their dunks, they have some post moves that are hard to contest sometimes, and really they're just really good in terms of rebounding and getting blocks. So centers are really for. Power forwards in this game is really specializes in dunks, blocks, and like tussle. Like same thing as a center, but not to the same extent. They have a lot of strength, is what you would think of when I say tussle. That's an attribute thing in this game, but they're really good at dunks, and they can be somewhat versatile to where you can make them shoot mid shots as well. You can make them take really long layups, and that affects their dunk especially. Yeah, that's what really power forwards specialize in. And then small forwards, they are really made for mid-range shots. That's their specialty. If you don't block them in the mid-range, they're gonna make it. Essentially, that's how good they are at shooting mid-range shots. A small forward is also the most versatile position in this game. You can make them into a really good blocker with speed. You can make them into a really good scorer that plays the playstyle swing, which I'll explain a little later. But you can make them really good at rebounds. You can make them really good at anything, and on top of that, they're coupled with speed that center and PF just don't have. So they are really good in that aspect where you could just make them into whatever you want to make them. On top of it, they have a little bit of speed to cover that as well. So yeah, small forward is really fun. Point guards specialize in steals. It's the best defensive position in the game, obviously. You can make them specialize in blocks as well, but it's a lot harder to do that, to make them block centered, but you could do it. And if you get it right, you can make them really overpowered. Like there's a lot of block PGs in this game that are just really hard to score on, and it's hard to play against them. But steals, best defensive, speed, and passing is what point guards specialize in. Shooting guard is the most, in like opposite of PG, the most offensive position in the game. They specialize in 3-pointers. You can make them take mid shots, really good layups. They have good passing, and they have the best dribble package in the game, in my opinion. Some people say it's swingman, but I think shooting guard has a better dribble package. You could do a lot more with them, and they look really flashy, stuff like that. But shooting guard, super offensive, best offensive position in the game. Swingman specializes in laying up. She has a scoop animation. I said she, like it. That's crazy. They can scoop. They have the longest lay range, and they have the second best dribbling in the game, in my opinion. Right, but second is good. They have a lot of different options you could do. They have a hesitation, which looks crazy if you know how to work with it. I think I could show it right here. Yo, types it. We're never playing that again. That was so loud. But anyway, yeah, good passing, solid offensive position. But you could also make them defensive. It's just like, it's pretty difficult as well. Same thing as making like a point guard defensive, but you could do it. And they have more speed than a small forward. So if you wanted to do that, you could do that. Dual guard, honestly, bruh, I don't even really look. I'ma just read what it say right here. Quick attack and defense. I guess I don't really know what dual guard is made for. I think it's like a point guard with like more scoring options, I guess. Slightly less defensive, but you could make them defensive also. So it's like PG that could score a little better. That's what I'm gonna say about dual guard. And control tower is the best passing big, the best assisting big, and they have a lot of ways to assist their teammates. Pretty versatile as well. You can make them take mid-range shots. They are classified as a big, so you can't last resist them unless you're a big. They're the fastest big in the game. And they're pretty versatile. So, but at the same time, I don't really even play CT like that, so I don't really know too much. But that's essentially what it is, man. A big that's less big than all the other bigs is what I would think of it as. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But yeah, that is it for positions, and what each position does, what they specialize in. Moving on from that, before I touch on the SPCs, I want to talk about the motion changes real quick because they coincide with each other. So y'all fucking with the drip, you know what I'm saying? It's in the skill part, the UI. It's down here, motion change. So what this is essentially is you could change the motions of your character based on what grade your character is. So if your character is a grade magic, the points you have is 14. You have 14 points to spend on these motions. If you're rare, you have 8, like my Big Joe has here. And if you're a legend, you get none, unless you're the 3-on-3 character, which you have, like, I think you have 4 points, but all you could spend on is only other 3-on-3 character parts. So that's what it is. And I'm gonna tell you all the motions that you should only worry about. Every other one is as, really, and most people have caught onto this already. Jump shot, if you're scoring, even if you were like cornering or something like that, or if you take mid shots, even Charlotte is the best jumper in the game. I will stand by this. There's people that say it's Mika. Mika has a great jump shot. Charlotte is better. I'm telling you, just trust me on that. It's Charlotte. But if you don't want Charlotte and you want to fade, you could get Mika's jump shot. Get Mika's jump shot, or even Noah. Where is he at? Hold on. Where Noah big head ass at? Am I blind? There he is. Noah. You could get Noah as well. But those are the only jump shots you should ever spend anything on. Moving on from that, short dunk. You're gonna change your short dunk if you're big, if you're center, or if you're like a power PF or CT that's in the paint a lot. The only short dunks you should ever get is either Breon or Deacon. Those are really your only options. It's Breon and Deacon. Long dunk if you're an ISO PF, right? Best play style in the game. It's gonna be Noah's dunk. Everybody gets Noah's dunk, and it's ridiculously OP. And I hate that I have to tell y'all this because there's gonna be more of you that make this, but yeah, Noah's long range dunk is the best dunk in the game. Well, it's not the best dunk in the game, but from what they offer here, it is. Long layup, you're like an SG or something, you take a lot of layups, swingman, stuff like that. Razak's layup is good. Luna and Lowell's layup is good, and that's it. that's your best options here out of all these options. Short layup, you'd never get. Well, you could get this if you do these work, but no one's ever gonna spend on this. The block, okay, so block. The only blocks you should worry about is Breon, Anastasia. Some people like the 3-on-3. The 3-on-3 blocks, it's just a regular block. If you just don't want to change the animation, you get the faster speed. Yeah, most people are gonna just go for the Breon or Anastasia block. Rebounding, Breon, where is he at? Breon is the best rebounding. Diving, catch, doesn't matter. Charlotte drive, really good. If you're scoring in any capacity, you want this regardless. And in attributes, if there's anything you didn't want, you can put it in attributes, I guess. But yeah, that's it for the motionless. If you have a magic or rare character that you just don't want to give up, you could definitely just use those motions, and then they are automatically viable. Some of those characters are now better than some of the legend characters at this point. So yeah, it's a really good update that they just gave us. Moving on from that, I'm gonna talk about all the best SPCs for each position you're gonna play. I'm gonna put them on screen for you so you have a visual. This is gonna take a long time to edit. I already know. Fuck it, for the people, you know what I'm saying? Starting with center, show you which ones are free and which ones you have to pay for. All right, there's a lot of free ones now. For center, the free ones right now, you can get a Deacon for free. Another thing you could do is you can make a rare or magic character and just have the Breon block, short dunk, and rebound, and you would be just fine. That works as well. If you're paying, you could get a Breon, Lucas, Prussian, or Tristia. All good centers. And then for power forward, the free spot, you could get a Daniel, you can get a Noah, get a Golden less more than the others because he's a little outdated now, but you could do that. Or you could get a rare and magic character with Noah's dunk, Breon rebound, and Noah's jump shot. I don't know why I'm telling y'all this. There's gonna be more of it, and it's the most cancer playstyle to play against. But whatever, we deal with it. If you're paying, you get a Ludrin, Tristia, or a Magenta. Small forward for free. It does depend on your playstyle as to what SPC you should pick. So I'll kind of split this up a little bit. If you're a scoring SF, you could get any 3-on-3 character. Any 3-on-3 character could work for a scoring SF, like a swing SF. You could also just get a Charlotte, which allows you to 3-point drift, which I'm not going to explain. I'm going to leave that to my nigga Riggs. Or you could get any rare or magic character with the Charlotte jump shot to get that 3-point drift. And then for paid, you don't need to pay for a scoring SF in this day and age. Genuinely, you don't. But if you're getting a defensive SF, they need a good jump shot. You need a good jump shot in the corner and a good block animation. So if you're getting one of the free ones, you could get a Mika, a Noah, a Nadia, Charlotte, or Elias, or Daniel. And those all would work just fine for a defensive SF. That's all the free ones. If you're paying, you should get a Eugenie, Prussian, or a Magenta. Those will all work pretty well. For shooting guard, I'm not gonna talk about here because I've talked about in extent in a different guide, my ISO SG guide, so I'll just link that in the description. But I did get the question of whether you could just get any rare or magic character and just use the motions, and you can do that. My Big Joe, let me show you my Big Joe. I can finally use him a little better now because they gave him some better animations. So motion change, I think I was on this, but yeah, he has a Charlotte jump shot, he has a drive, and he has Nari layup because I can't afford the Razak layup, unfortunately, because he's a rare character. So, but yeah, you could definitely use like these animations and your character is now automatically useful. Every rare and magic character is now useful for ISO SG if you just get the right parts. So there's that. Along with what I said in the guide about the SPCs. So I would just link that in the description. If you want to watch that, you can go watch that. But yeah, that's it for shooting guard. Point guard, free characters, any 3-on-3 character will work. Point guard and Elias. Oh well, even a Charlotte, I guess. If you're paying, you would want to get a Lowell, a Luna, any of the stray rebel characters, Prussian or Magenta. So work for point guard. The best for point guard. Right. Dual guard. I'm gonna keep clowning on this position, but I really think any SPC would work for this position. Honestly, that's like really versatile, and I mean you don't really need anything specific with them, in my opinion. So any SPC would work for this personally. So do what you like with that. Swingman for free. The free ones, you get a Yua. You get a rare magic character with just a good layup, Charlotte drive, and then anything else you want on there. Just make sure you have a good layup and Charlotte drive in your set. And if you're paying, you can get a Selena, Eugenie, Lowell, or Luna. The CT, the free ones you could get, a lot of these work for CT as well because CT is so versatile. But Elias, Yua, Mika, Noah, rare magic with a good jump shot, good rebound, and a good block. And if you're paying, most Astrias will work for CT, Eugenie, Prussian, Magenta, and really anybody with a good jump shot works just fine. So, alright, now I'm going to talk about the different play styles and freestyle too. And if you're returning, you might know how all of these work. This is more for the new players, just to have an understanding of what play styles do and how to guard. Well, not how to guard them. I just have to explain to you how they work, and then you could come up with a way to guard them. But playing them is essentially what I'm trying to help you with here. A dash is essentially usually the lineup is going to be a point guard, a center, and then shoot. But you could mix this up a little bit. For the big, you could have a PF or a CT. For the PGs, usually it's usually always a PG. I've seen people do it with DG, but usually it's gonna be PG. And then you have the SG, but some people have been dashing with SFs. But we're just gonna stick with a PG SG center lineup because that's usually what it is. Right. So what happens is the PG is the ball handler, handles the ball throughout the possession, and the center screens at a certain area. It's usually at the corner of the free throw line for for the SG, and the SG works his way around the screen, attempting to get his defender onto the screen. And then once this happens, or really, it doesn't really have to happen, they just have to work around the screen. The defender is going to be trying to avoid the screen, and then the SG dashes out and pulls the other big to help. Otherwise, like if the big doesn't help, SG gets open, so the big has to help. So the SG's job is to pull the big away from the paint, essentially, in dashing away to the 3-point line, right? So the play is this: center screens, PG pressures the paint, and then the SG dashes out to pull the big out. So the big has to decide whether to help, whether to stay. And the PG passes to the SG, the big stays, SG is usually going to be open. Pass out to the SG, easy 3. The big doesn't stay, the big goes and helps, paint is open. So center could cut in for the pass in, center takes the 2, or PG takes the 2. And that's usually how dash works, right? Hopefully that wasn't too confusing the way I explained it. Big screens, SG dashes, PG decides whether to pass or the layup, and then you just loop that around and around. Isolation. Simplest way to explain it is it's going to be one ball handler in the middle, and then they have 2 corners. Usually going to be SFs, small forwards in the corner that are defensive and can shoot threes, right? So how it works essentially is the ball handler, the ISOer, would be scoring, and this is the most like pressure of a scorer because they have to decide when to pass to the corners, if they're open, what to take, if to take a layup, if to take a 3 that's open, what to go for. But essentially it's just the ball handler scoring, 2 corners in the corner. If they're open, the ISO passes out to them. If not, the ISO just scores on the one-on-one situation. That's how ISO works. It's pretty simple, nothing crazy. My main play style. Swing is usually a big, and then you have a scorer, and then the point guard. It's essentially, if you thought of ISO, but the big is in the paint. That's the only difference, right? So it's a one-on-one. SG or SF is scoring, and they decide whether to pass to the big if they're open, or to just score on their own. And then PG is usually just in the paint, chilling for the most part. That's how swing work, nothing crazy. Pillar is usually same lineup as swing, right? So it'd be a scorer, a big, and then the PG. The PG is usually in the corner again, and then the scorer uses the screen from the big as a method of helping him to score. So it's like pick and roll, right? It's like pick and roll. It's essentially just pick and roll. That's how I would look at it. You know what I'm saying? But those are all the major play styles that are in this game. Really not much else I could think of. Some like elevator or some shit like that, but like nobody plays that. This is the majority of what people are gonna play, so this is really all that matters. So that's it for play styles. All right, we're gonna move on to how cards work. It's gonna be this little section right here. And how this works, to make your cards, there's 3 different levels. There's Legend, there's All-Star Pro, and then All-Star World cards. So what you start off with is the Legend cards. These aren't Legend, these are All-Star Pro. What you're gonna have to do is, to make the All-Star Pro, you need 3 Legend cards of what it's looking for. So if you wanted to upgrade like the SP1 offensive, right, you would need 2 of them, and then the SP3 offensive together to upgrade to Pro, right? You get the Pro card, then what you have to do is you have to upgrade that Pro card with the Prism, which you could have the Premium Prism or the regular Prism. These Prisms take forever. You gotta find a way to get these Premium Prisms, which is why you gotta use them. The events I was talking about earlier to build these up, you know what I'm saying, help you get the Prism. But you Prism it. This is an unprismed card, and then this is a Prism card. You could tell by the little, how it's, look a little glittery, you know what I'm saying, it's got the little diamond linings on it. But you get it prismed, right? And then once you get it prismed, you can now make the world card version of that card. So you would need the prismed Pro you just had, SP1 offensive, which is the Legend card you needed before as well, the SP3, which is the one you needed before as well, and then you need a card with a specific attribute that it'll ask for. For this scenario, it's long layup attribute. So what you have to do is you have to find a card that has long lay attribute here. So what you do, you just roll until you get it, essentially, right? And then you have that, and then that's how you can make the the world version of that. And then you want to eventually prism that as well. When you prism, you get a +1 attribute on the entire card, right? So that's essentially how to make the card. That's how you get the card, right? And then once you get the card, you want to get the right attributes, right? Depending on your character, your SPC, your position, the playstyle you're going for is what will determine what sub attributes you want for your character, right? It's really, I can't really go through everything. I can't really go through every single like sub attribute and tell you which one needs what, because that'll probably just take forever. What I will do is I'll just screenshot my examples, right? My examples for my characters and what those characters are and how I'm using them, right? And their cards and stuff like that. And that's you could use that as an example, I guess, right? But yeah, that's what I'll do. Oh, and also, if you have a card and you want to move it to a different character, you could do that. You just need card movers, and these are not free, right? None of these three really don't matter. You're mostly gonna need world star movers if you gotta move it to a different character. You know what I'm saying? You get a new character, you gotta move the cards. These are usually hard to get, but a lot of these events, like I was mentioning, have them. Mission Shop has them. The mining thing has them. Startup Dash, they have it in here. Shoot, they have three of them in this attendance event. They are everywhere right now, which is why you need to hop on the game, bro. You got to take advantage of all the stuff they're giving, because they might not do it again. Like, this game isn't dead anymore, man. There's people playing, you know what I'm saying? So this might be a one-time thing. You got to take advantage of it now, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that is it for cars. For attributes, I'm gonna explain. I'm not gonna go too into detail because that would take forever as well, but I'll kind of just dumb it down and explain which attributes you would put anything into depending on your position. Alright, so post shot, no one really uses that. You don't really got to put anything in there unless you're like an ISO center that likes to use a lot of post move skills. I guess you could do that. There's like 2 of them that I know, but most people don't do that. But if that's the case, you could do that. It's just not that useful. Mid shot depends on your play style. Shooting guards are going to use this. Small forwards are going to use this. PFs could use this if they ISO. Centers could use this. Point guards generally don't have to put this in there, to be honest with you. But yeah, 3-point shot, shooting guards, shooting forwards if they're corners. Point guards need this as well. People don't usually do short dunk. You don't gotta worry about that. Long dunk is only for ISO PFs, really. Short layup, nothing. Long layup, swingman could use this. SGs could use this. Usually SF's not usually, but I guess if you're an ISO SF, you could use this. And then ISO PFs use a lot of long layup as well. Steal, point guards, dual guards, if you make like a steal build SG, which is the stupidest idea, but if you decided to do that, I guess you could put it in steal. Pass, point guard uses this. SGs use this. Shooting, but really anybody could use pass. The more I think about it, but it's not a super necessary like thing you have to put anything into. It's just anybody could use it. Tussle, bigs, usually all bigs need this. It would really be the only ones that need this. Block, all the bigs. Small forwards could use block. Point guards could use block as well. So dual guards as well. Rebound, all the bigs need this. Shooting forward, small forwards could use this as well. That's usually it. Speed, everybody could use speed. So it's for all positions. Stamina, same thing. Everybody could use stamina. So but those are the only attributes you would ever put anything into. I'll show you examples of my builds as well and how I built them and what I made them for and stuff like that, so you can use it as a template, you know what I'm saying? So well, it's not it for attributes because I gotta talk about drip, you know what I'm saying? Your drip gives you extra attributes as well. If you have like a legend, it's usually there's like this, what is it, like four variations of drips that you could add stuff onto. The top, if it's just the top, it's a +10 on some offensive attribute. If it's just the shorts, it's a +10 on something defensive, or it's usually some defensive, I think. Like, hold on, yeah, you would add the attribute, yeah, something defensive or pass for the pants, something offensive for the top, and then you could have a two-piece outfit, something like this, and the two-piece outfit gives you a little more on the offensive, a little less on the, oh no, they become both offensive. All right, they become both offensive, and you just get a lot more offensive in general. If you just want straight offense, you don't want no defense, you could just put on a two-piece. And then you usually have the shoes, the feet. Most people are just gonna go with the +10 speed. That's what most people go for. That's what you should go for. You know what I'm saying? And then there's a fit where it's just the entire body, and that gives you like, I don't remember how much it is, but it's more than the two-piece, and it's just usually just one main offensive attribute if you get the full-on fit, you know what I'm saying? So if you're any type of defensive build, you don't want to get the two-piece or the large fit because it's all offensive. You want to get you're gonna get the pants separate from the top, you know what I'm saying? If you're getting anything defensive, that's gonna be it for attributes, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully we're moving through this pretty quick. I don't know how long this is gonna be. Wait, freestyles are like little special moves you could use in the middle of your match. You gotta build it up by doing a certain item. Like for example, this one I have equipped. I usually have to take 3-point shots throughout the match. Then I could use this, and the benefits of them are usually like the animations, like this one in particular. If they're not directly in front of you, it's a lot harder to block. Like this one has a lot of 3-point success, so if they don't jump, it's going in. And then this is just a dunk, and a dunk is usually just good in general, you know what I'm saying? You can do it manually. Only bigs can do dunks manually. So having a little spare, little freestyle, little dunk is pretty useful. And all you do is you just utilize these tickets. You get a whole bunch of them, and then eventually you'll have enough to upgrade them to 4-star and 5-star. And the more you upgrade them, the less you have to do to get them, and the better they are, essentially. So that's really it for freestyles. Wait, for a little more attribute, I should have talked about this with the attributes, but if you want a little more attribute, you know what I'm saying, you close to like, oh, something I forgot to mention about the attributes. I don't even know if this is true, I just feel like it is. If the attribute should end in a 0 or a 5 for it to really do anything. I feel like that's been true. So you want to get your attributes to end in either a 0 or a 5. So like in the situation where you need like one extra attribute to get it to that, get it to that number, this is what enhancement is for. You get a bunch of these. You have to use the pieces, and then what you do is you get these pieces, you use them all, and then you disassemble the ones you get that you don't want. Like for example, I don't want any of these normal ones, I'm never going to use them, right? So I just take them all there, disassemble. All right, now I have these little pieces. I need 1,000 to get to my second enhancement level. 2 pieces of my character, I got 2 of those. Enhance. All right, just enhance my character. So every time you enhance your character, you get +1 to 3 attributes. So I could put the +1 in block. I'm gonna just do this because it's a corner SF, but you get 1 extra for all your attributes the more you do that, right? And it's like 5 levels to it. So but they get more expensive the more you go on, but pretty useful to get your attributes up if you need to. Right, now I'm gonna just quick fire little things that I notice a lot of people just have trouble, just don't even know about the game, I guess, that would help them out, I guess. There's no rooms on the game anymore. It's auto matchmaking, so you can either just match start and it'll find teammates for you, or you can make a room and invite people, but the only people you could invite is people in your crew or friends that you have. So that's the difference in matchmaking. There's a move called last visits that they added like a year ago. Was it a year ago? A year or 2 ago, I don't remember. If you were returning and you don't know anything about it, or you're new and you have no idea what it is, it's essentially if somebody does a scoring maneuver in the paint, like a layup or a dunk or something like that, and you're behind them, right? And you gotta press F towards them, and you can contest it without having to block it. You contest it from behind, essentially, right? And this is to prevent people from just spamming layups with no repercussions, right? Last visits, that's what that is. Use that like a motherfucker, because it's really useful. And if you're not using it, you're letting points go by for no reason. The only way to avoid them is you either jump pass or you double clutch, but you can also LR a double clutch if you time it correctly. If you expect them to double clutch, you just LR the double clutch. But that's what last resist is. They have made SP Run 3 and SP Stamp 3 free. That you can buy them for points now. Get them for every one of your characters, because this is ridiculous that they just gave these out. You used to have to spend money on this for, and I don't know if they'll change it. So get these ASAP. SPC list, depending on your SPCs, you get extra little titles you can put on. They'll give you a little extra attribute. But this is if you have the SPCs. Special team is if you play with with 2 people you play with a lot, you might as well make a special team, because if you come up this leaderboard pretty far, you get these little rewards. And if you want a cape, you know what I'm saying, you want to, a little title, a little trophy with a little extra stuff in there, you know. Equipment, useless. Don't waste your time on this. Woo! That wasn't too much, was it? That's really it. That's really it for people just getting started with the game. That's really most of what you have to know. Everything else will kind of just come easy to you. But if there's anything that you don't understand or you need help with, and or maybe you just need some people to play with, it's not a guarantee. Join the Discord, man. I've had the link up for a minute. It's been growing. There's been a lot of people joining, especially recently with how the game's in a bit of an upswing. Join the server, man. You know, most people are cool. It does get a little competitive in there, and people do trash talk, you know what I'm saying, but it's not too over the top. But most people are usually chill. So join up, man. You know what I'm saying? We're here to help, or most of us are here to help, and help out the new players of this game. Make sure y'all stay, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, man. You know what I'm saying? It's probably gonna take me a minute to edit it, but this was cool to make. The 4th ISO-SG guide, that'll come out soon too. I'm not gonna promise when, because it might take a little while. I can't lie to you, but I'm gonna be working on that eventually. It's probably gonna be like 2 videos in between that, but like the video, man, subscribe, and then if y'all could just give me an opinion on that little intro I just worked on, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate it. Let me know in a comment if you fucking with it. But that's it. Done. Get the fuck on.